Okay, good day. It seems it's 2 o'clock. We're going to start slowly but surely. Let's just firstly go through. Please stay on the line. Good day, Logan. At the end, I'll ask the Google form just for some feedback. Just want to see what you guys are struggling with and what you've done and so on. So we've got an idea. It's not going to be theory or practical every day. We like to mix it up so we don't get stuck into a trend. Okay, then there's a Google form. You can also check this on African Teen Gigs on YouTube. And remember, Snapify, all the books are free ebooks, educational ebooks. So most of the textbooks you can find on it. So just go have a look there. Snapify, it's on your phone or on a computer app, and you'll get it. Okay, and then the last link there, Office 365. If you follow that, mahalo.ms/sign up, you can get 3 Office 365 for a year, I think. Okay, anyone between the age of 8 and 24. Okay, just sign up and they'll send you a code and you can activate Office 365. Okay, then please use the chat. Chat as most as possible. Ask questions. It will help me help you guys as well. Okay, time slot stays at 2 o'clock. And then we'll go. I see there's a little bit of we have people coming in. So we'll just go one more time. I'm Judge Stills. I'll be stepping in from the rest of the week or until lockdown has finished. Okay. So today's topic, we are moving to computer-related crimes, and we will working on the computer-related crimes. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with the first one. Okay. So if we go to computer-related crimes, you will see computer-related crimes or cyber crimes, and they've become more frequent. As internet becomes more using internet, cyber crimes becomes an opportunity for criminals to catch out the people that's not so tech savvy. Okay, there's a range from simple virus they can send to you through an email or attachments, and it can go all the way to pinching and more complex attacks, what we'll handle today. Okay, so cyber criminals aim to access people's computers and passwords. They want to get either personal information or any information they can use, either for advertising purposes or to get money from you. Okay, so the different computer-related crimes we're doing today is theft of computer hardware, software theft, bandwidth theft, identity theft, misuse of personal information, and theft of time and services. Okay, and then tomorrow we'll move over to malware, and we'll speak about the different types of malware. Okay, so today it's only the theft, and tomorrow we'll move over to malware. Okay, so let's start with the first one, the theft of computer hardware. It's the theft of physical hardware components. That means that's people taking your laptop or smartphones. It's people taking over something internally or externally, physically taking it out of the computer center, or other words, out of your office or so. So they take out stuff from your computer. So protect yourself against hardware theft. Anything common from alarms, cable locks, anything like that you would use to lock up your physical items in any case on any other day. So lock it up, use chains and all those. So some general guidelines. Don't leave stuff unattended in a public area, especially laptops and smartphones. And use a password as a security method. It will try and block them, and use a cable lock for your equipment. Okay, then we'll move over to the next one, which is software theft. And software theft is something most of us do, and we don't even know we are doing it. Okay, so this is the distribution of software obtained illegally, stealing of any CDs or DVDs, or buying it in a corner tuck shop or somewhere, or downloading illegal software from the internet, or even sending it through email or Dropbox or so on and so forth to anybody else. Okay, so software theft happens a lot. and we don't always know about it. Okay, some guidelines to stay clear of when software theft. Uh, never, never copy or duplicate or distribute any software without the copyright license. Now, you are allowed to copy a CD to your computer if you've got the physical CD at home, but you are not allowed to send that music or copy that music and distribute it to anybody else. Then it's against the software policies. Okay, do not download any illegal software from the internet and do not lend your software so it can be copied illegally. Okay, so downloading illegal stuff over the internet as well, or even borrowing your CD for someone else to copy it. Okay, so software theft is it's very common these days. And at this stage, there's no real guidelines or any real punishment for people with software theft. That's why it's happening so a lot. Okay, then we'll go over to bandwidth theft. Now, the use of bandwidth theft without paying would be when you are stealing somebody's Wi-Fi or accessing somebody's Wi-Fi without them knowing it, or even plugging in a cable and using somebody's internet without them knowing it. Especially people put their hotspot on, forget about it, and you get hold of it and you can use it. Now, there's pros and cons with that. People stealing bandwidth in many ways. That's stealing your username and password, and then they can use your internet. There's apps available freely that can do that, and connections that are not owned by them. So you are piggybacking on somebody else's internet. Okay, connections that's not in an unprotected network. That's when you go to the malls and you start using it and you're just logging out and logging in and keep on using the internet. Okay, that's against the bandwidth theft. Okay, precautions including having good password policies, being careful when installing free software. A lot of times when you are downloading stuff freely from the internet, as previous slide, you are actually downloading a malware with it, and they can use that to obtain illegal access to your computer or even your internet, and sharing your internet to other people. That would come to hot linking. Okay, so let's go. Yes, using your neighbor's Wi-Fi is actually illegally unless they give you the password and tell you that you can use it. Okay, so if you are using it and they are not, it's not to their knowledge, then yes, you are technically stealing Wi-Fi from them. Okay, the second type of bandwidth theft, and this is one that happens without our knowledge a lot of times. This is when people links their files or videos on their website to your website. So if you've got a website, or your school has a website, or your parents or somebody has a website, and they are linking their downloading to that website, you are actually paying for other people to download. So nobody would pay for their downloads, but you are actually paying for it through hot linking. Okay, they use your bandwidth to download and not their own. So their internet speed will be normal and yours will be slower. And okay, then identity theft. This is the one that most of us knows, especially because of the movie Identity Theft. If you haven't watched the movie yet, go and check it out. That movie helps a lot to understand what identity theft is, or one aspect of identity theft. So stealing data can be used to pretend you are somebody else, and that's most probably what the whole movie is about. Pretending to be somebody else, using credit cards, making bookings, and buying stuff on behalf of somebody else, and they have to pay for it. Okay, now this can happen by stealing any personal information, and that's why it is not a good idea to always use the same passwords. Always have a second email, one for business and one for all those newsletters and sites that you don't trust. And if you've got your ID number, telephone number, you guys are getting in a stage, everybody's getting cars and you're getting a license, you're posting your license on Facebook. Now that's a recipe for disaster. Anybody can take that photo and just put their photo in, and you're going to have to pay all the fines. So please don't share any personal informations like your new ID book or your new license card. People can use that and you won't even know about it. Okay, so watch what you post anyway. People can get it. That will also be when you log into Facebook. They always ask you there, what was your first dog, or as a security question, what's your mother's name or anything like that, and you answer those most of the time truthfully, and that means anybody that can get access to getting to a space where they need to ask for that question that knows you can log in. And getting to know somebody, especially in the digital age these days, is not very hard. That's why it's also very wise to go to Facebook or any other social platform and make your security settings to be private so people can't go on and look what you are doing. Okay, so they can also control your account, especially Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on, if they can get that access by logging in and getting your details. Okay, they can also, there's a trend going around where people are opening accounts, they're using your photo, inviting your friends, saying that you've got a new Facebook account, and that they start doing and pretending to be you. So that's also a thing these days. They can take out loans, buy things, everything in your name, especially if they can get hold of your ID, a photo, or anything that looks like your ID and a photo that would connect to each other. Okay, so please watch out. Don't post stuff anywhere that anybody can use against you, especially personal information that's not supposed to be public. Okay, the next one, next part of identity theft, that's the sensitive information I was speaking about. Protect your information, always use a secure password, eighth characters, especially uppercase, lowercase, the symbols, numbers, you all know, and don't do the basics by replacing an A with an at or an I with a one or L with a one or something like that. Everybody knows that, and they will use that a lot to get your password. So if you've got an eight length password, it's going to be very hard to crack. But if you've got a 2 or 3 length password, there are programs available freely that they can use to access your accounts within minutes or days, depending on the length of your password. So always make sure 8 letters or longer, using the mixture of the characters, and be sure not to use the same password everywhere, especially if it's sensitive data. Use the password there, and for any of those other sites that you don't trust, use a different email and different password so you can be sure to be safe and nobody can steal your information. Okay, so be selective where you share your information. Spoken about being on social media, what you share, even checking into places. Criminals are wise these days. They see your family has checked in at a vacation destination and they know there's nobody at home and it's all to go. Okay, so check out this stuff, make sure what you do. Okay, so if you use your email address for your website, do not be surprised if you start receiving spam mail. You will start getting or signed up to mail or newsletters and all those stuff. A lot of these companies, especially small companies, sell your information to other companies and they can use your information on newsletters and those stuff for spam mail. Okay, we all know what happened to Facebook a while back. They were taken to court about this, and we will get to the advertisement bit a little bit later. Okay, misuse of personal information. So this information about you has value. Anything about you has value, and especially your information, especially in the digital age. So you Google search anything, and this is where the Facebook part comes in. If you go to Google and you search for something new, a new bag, a new car, a new something you want, something sports equipment, anything you're interested in, if you're searching for something to buy, within minutes or days, your Facebook line or social media ad line will be about that product that you just searched. Okay, this is because they collect data from you. They build a online profile about you, and then they sell that information to companies that need specific information. If I've got a company that sells, especially now, yes, very similar to cookies. If I've got a company that sells earphones, and I know that there's a gamer or a person listening to music, I'll go to companies and I'll ask them for information about people like Google that asked, I want somebody that's looking for earphones, and that will people would fall into a gaming category, or people listening to music, so that's signed up to Spotify or Google Music or so on, and they can get that information there, and then you'll see on your timeline suddenly when you just thinking of buying a new pair of earphones will appear on your timeline. Okay, so without you telling them, they have now learned that you've liked something because you've searched into a web browser, and this information is very valuable for companies. They sell it. Google sells collect the information to advertisers, and you can go and you can clear it, or you can set on Facebook specifically that they can't collect data from you, but that won't change the ads. It will stay the same amount of ads, but they won't have targeted ads if you have changed those settings. So you can Google that, or on YouTube, check it out. You can change it. You'll still have the same amount of ads, but then you'll have their ads and not specifically ads that's targeted at you if you don't like that. Okay, so the next time you open a website, you will suddenly see the information that we spoke about just now. So misuse of personal information, they collecting information from you without you knowing, and they sell it so that they can sell and targeted audience for people. Okay. The theft of time and services. So this is the last one. We're almost at the end. So this is more probably when you're back at school, or when you start working somewhere, and you, especially when you start working, your parents maybe, your guardians, they get paid to do a specific work, but now like, your work has got good internet, and now you start watching Netflix or checking out Showmax, or you start Googling stuff, you're gathering information for somebody's project they need to do, or you start gaming at work. Now that's when you are stealing time and services from somebody. So that is when a person is receiving payment for his or her employer for the work they were supposed to do but did not do. Okay, so this is usually because a person is busy with non-work related activities. So that would be people simply sitting on a cell phone playing Candy Crush or any other game, or people going on Facebook playing Facebook games, or just chatting to other people instead of working. It doesn't always need to be on the internet, but most of these terms are specifically designed for time wasting over the internet specifically. Okay, so these theft of services refer to a person using company equipment, such as the computer and the internet, for personal matters. Or you are going, your guardians or so on is printing your tasks there or projects there without the knowledge of their boss or somebody that is employed above them. Okay, so it's not illegal. If your mom's getting information for a project at school, it's not illegal. But if it's interfering with doing her work, then it's a theft of time and services. So most employers won't have a problem with helping out their employees, but most of them would ask to first do the work, and when their work is finished, they can start working on getting information for a project and so on. So it's not that it's illegal. It's just that it's stealing time and a service that's supposed to be delivered to other people. So if your work's falling behind, then it's wrong. So most jobs won't have a big issue with that. But the big thing is when you start working with IT or with data capturing and so on and so forth, it can become a problem. And especially people surfing the internet and reading up on blogs and so on, if they do and log on to sites or download something, that is infected with malware or so on, then the company has got to deal with the problem. And after there was a company in Australia, if I remember correctly, one of their workers were surfing the sites and they downloaded a movie or a document or something, and with that became a malware, and the whole business, I think it was 200 computers, a big business, got locked. Everybody got locked out of their computers, and they had to pay an X amount of, let's say, $200 per computer. So that person locked the whole network. It came on a network, the malware, spread it like a virus. Every single computer got locked. Everybody got shut out, and they had to pay the people to get access to the computers again. So the other alternative would be to reboot your computer, completely do it over, but then you lose every single document you've worked on the computer. So working with malware and computer related crimes, it can be, some of them is not that harsh, where some of them can be very expensive to get out or to work with. Okay, so something like time of theft and services is not that bad, or can't say it's not that bad. It's still against a good user policy, but it will not be a problem if you do it correctly and you've let people know you are doing it. Okay, so doing it just for the fun, that would be wrong. Okay, so today's a little short lesson. We'll move over to malware tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit longer. I don't want to bore you too much with theory. I know some of the people don't like theory much, but we need to do it. It's 50-50 in exam, 50% for theory, 50% for practical. So we can't always focus on one side. We need to give attention equally to both sides. Okay, then this is the internet-related fraud we're going to do tomorrow, specifically scams, pinching, email and spoofing, different types of crowdfunding, internet attacks, malware, right to access versus right of privacy, safeguard against criminals, viruses, and threats. Okay, so that's tomorrow's topic. And maybe on Wednesday we'll do a little bit more theory, and then we'll move over to practical, depending on what you guys want. What is it? Yes, if a substitute teacher is, yes, that's a good question, Kyle. That's more practical. Asking there if a substitute teacher is supposed to be giving class. Let's say we go back to class, you've got a substitute teacher, and yes, they're supposed to give class. If they do not give class, they're actually stealing academic time with you. You are paying for the class, so you are there to be taught. So actually, you are supposed to be being taught or teached actually work. So if they just come in a class, sit there and say, okay, do whatever you want, they are actually stealing academic time from you. So yes, that would work on the same principle. They are stealing time. Okay, so that short URL, I'll quickly post that link on the chat as well. I want you guys just to fill it in. It's just a few questions. That would help me know what you guys know and what you guys need, or what is your guys a need for to learn. So you can just go in there. Yes, Lucette, just write the earphones and just go on Google, search it, go on Facebook, and you'll see companies are targeting your earphones. Okay. So there's the short URL. Just open it up. It will open up a page with 4 or 5. It's an exit ticket with 4 or 5 questions. Tick everything, as you know. It's no, I won't know who answered what. It's just for me to know. Give your honest opinion about everything, so I've got a better point so I can know where you guys can start. We are most probably going to start with term 2 work, a little bit practical, and term 2 theory, and then we'll see how long lockdown and where it takes us. So hopefully we can all get back to class safely as soon as possible. But if that doesn't happen, I'll be here every single day at 2. Please tell other people they must come join us so we can have a nice full class. The more we are, the better it will get and the more feedback we'll get. So please go answer that little questionnaire I gave you guys. So tomorrow again at 2 o'clock. Have a great day. Remember to stay safe and then always know hard work always pays off. Thank you guys for being here. See you tomorrow.